Hello, guys. Welcome to Mainevent Podcast. Eric,
Hello.
Hi.
how are you? Welcome to the show.
Hey, guys.
Welcome.
Hey. Hi, Nathan. Hi, Eric.
Hey, Tom, Nathan. Great to be here, guys.
Okay. Welcome, guys. Right. Let's get down to it. Jarrell Miller has failed another drug test. What do you guys think?
You want to go first, Eric?
No, you got that, Tommy.
Well, I think he's done. I think he deserves a lifetime ban at this point. I mean, how many times can you let this guy get away with that? And that's my viewpoint on it. He blew the fight with Joshua. He blew, almost $5 million. And he left that promotion in a lurch. Andy Ruiz stepped in. And, of course, there was a big drama show. But, I mean, at this point, it's not the first time. It's not. I think he was also busted as a mixed martial artist.
That's correct.
For using PEDs. So I think it's time to say goodbye to Big Baby.
Passion for the sport, in it.
How about you, Eric? What do you think?
Honestly, I have nothing on that, but it's a multi. if it's been more than once, I mean, what's the exact number? You said it's been a couple of times.
Well, I think this is the fourth time, maybe. I think the second or third time for boxing. So,
I mean, well,
and the
at some
guy
point,
just,
right? You know.
Yeah, he just keeps messing up. So
I think he's proven that that's the way he goes about doing things. I mean, speaking as an athlete, you know, that's a lot of smoke, that's a lot of fire. So that's who he is. And this is not baseball. You know, we're not hitting baseballs over a fence. You know, we're fighting. So the other guys in you know, a certain kind of danger. That lifetime ban, I hear you on that one, Tommy.
Yeah. I think it just betrays. I'm sorry, Nathan. I think it just betrays his mental state that he doesn't feel he can win by being clean. I think that's more. It's psychological too. What were you going to say, Nathan?
You're playing with somebody's life. So many times, you know, it's a bit of a joke.
Right.
I don't agree with it at all.
Nathan, I'm having a bit of a problem with your sound. Are you moving your mic around, or are you moving
No,
around?
I'm just not standing right next to it. I'm standing a bit further away. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, please stay closer.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome, Spencer. Eric, meet Spencer.
What's going on?
Hey, Spence, how you doing?
I'm all right, and yourself?
Not too bad. Doing good.
Hey, Spencer.
What's going on, Tom?
Good to hear your voice.
Same, man.
We were just talking about Big Baby, and I
Oh.
was saying he deserves a lifetime ban at this point. What do you think?
Whatever they're going to do. The only thing about the ban, I was telling that before, boxing, this is the problem with boxing. There's no central organization that can penalize him. So, like, he might not be able to fight in the States, but that won't prevent him from fighting in South America or Australia or something like that, or Russia even, you know. And that's the problem with boxing. Like, there's no universal organization, no central organization that could issue out penalties accordingly. There's 4 different titles, you know.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it John McCain that was trying to get boxing organized by passing legislation to have a centralized group that could oversee it, like the NFL has and other sports have?
Right. They wanted to do something. I believe it, obviously it was years ago, but he was trying to present some type of legislation, because boxing is a different entity than other sports.
It was the Muhammad Ali Act, wasn't it?
But the Muhammad Ali Act is basically preventing promoters from
Being
like,
managers, right?
right. They have to be a separate entity, and this is the thing that people start talking about Al Heyman, and you know how he's trying to play promoter and manager, which in all actuality we don't hear from Al Heyman, so I don't ever hear him promote the fight at all. So
Right. Well, that was one of the things with Don King, because of course he had his son being the manager and he would be the promoter, but King was running everything.
right, and even like his son's part, he was still getting a check from his son's management of the
Right.
of boxers. So you know, boxers, they might, for argument's sake, they might sign to get for $1 million fight, and then they might wind up walking away with like 50,000 from the fight.
Right. So, yeah, John McCain actually was trying to get a commission going.
Like a central organization, like
Yeah.
like the way the NFL and Major League Baseball is, like that.
Guys, I hate to be a dick because we've got quite a bit to cover.
All right.
Let's move on
Okay.
to the next thing.
All right.
Andy Ruiz Jr. said he'd like to fight Dillian White and check him up. That'd be a great fight. Dillian White again.
All right, Nathan, I lost your voice again.
I think Andy Ruiz could beat
It's fine. So,
Okay.
about Dillian White.
Who wants to go first with that?
You do.
I'll go real quick, guys. I can go real quick.
What do you think then about the fight?
I'll go real quick, guys. You know, I think when you get away from the Elite Three, as I call them, and we know who I'm talking about, you know, Fury, Joshua, and Wilder, I think that's the fight. You know, in the last two times we saw Ruiz, one night he was really focused. The other night he was clearly out of shape. And nowadays, you know, I mean, watching Dillian White, I think he's a tough guy to beat, tough guy to bet against once you get away from those three. You know, certain fights he's showing great accuracy, and he's always showing great resiliency, great toughness. So Andy Ruiz on his best night, you know, I like him, but what's that really saying? You know, nowadays I think it's hard to bet against Dillian White. You know, he's showing me a lot.
Okay. What do you think?
Spencer, go ahead.
I'll give kudos to Dillian White because he wins the fights that they put in front of him. I'm not too impressed with Dillian White myself, but he wins the fights. I can't say nothing about it. He's winning the fights.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think this would be a very good fight style-wise for both guys. Both guys could bang. Both guys are good boxers. I believe Ruiz is a better boxer than White. I don't know if White has more power or not, but they both pack power and they have a lot of weight. But I think Ruiz would probably come out on top on this one. And White needs to fight somebody like this. He needs to fight a former champion and have a big win if he can get it, which I'm not sure that he can in this one. But, you know, he supposedly, which is part of, I think, our show, has the okay to get the winner of the next Wilder Fury match. But they says they have agreed on it, but that doesn't mean they're signed to do it. So he has to get past Povetkin first before he could consider fighting either Ruiz or anybody else. And if he does, which he should, even though I think it'll be a good fight for about 5 rounds, if he does, then we'll see if he'll match up with Ruiz or if he'll actually get the shot that he's promised. That's my thought on it.
I think the fight is more closer than people think it's going to be on point. So, but I picked Ruiz to win.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Just on his work.
I think Ruiz got a better engine than White. White gets a little tired towards the end of fights a lot. But as Tom pointed out, White got to get past Povetkin first.
Mm-hmm.
And Povetkin,
Yeah.
Nathan earlier, Povetkin went 12. I think it was 12 in his last
Michael
fight
Hunter, yeah.
against Michael Hunter, who is a much more mobile and fluid fighter in the ring than White is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's able to last 12 rounds. So if he's able to last 12 rounds with White, it's anybody's fight because Povetkin can pop. He can.
Mm-hmm.
You seen him the first couple of rounds against AJ. He was giving AJ all that AJ could take.
Yeah, that's right.
Anything
So,
else to say on this, Eric?
Ruiz,
You know,
Ruiz supposed to be fighting Charles Martin.
that's right. I heard about that too. Eric, you were going to say something?
No, I couldn't agree with Spence more as far as Andy Ruiz being a better boxer, and I like him, but also the find a way factor that Dylan White keeps showing. You know, he finds a way to win fights, and that counts in sports all around. You know, certain guys have that. I think he's shown that. As far as Povetkin, you know, I mean, shit, Povetkin's a month older than me. We turned 41 this year. You know, so I like to think the age may catch up to him a little bit. I mean, he got hit a lot against Hunter, you know, but he was he went 12 rounds getting caught like that. Like, how do you bet against that? You know, so I hear what you guys are saying regarding him. You know, I like White, but because, you know, he's 9 years younger. You know, like to say that I like to think that would play out, but that should be a good one. That's my thoughts on that.
Okay, we'll move on to Roberto Duran has been hospitalized for COVID-19.
Right. I heard a report that he's doing pretty well, came out on Twitter yesterday. And so he should be able to beat this. But just goes to show you got to be careful. You got to watch yourself. How is it over in New York right now, Spencer?
We're doing pretty good. You guys over there are the ones going crazy now. Y'all trying to catch up to our cases over here in New York, over there in California.
Well, yeah, you got people out here that object to wearing masks. You know, I think the key is, you know, trying to social distance and wear a mask. But in boxing, we've been having trainers show up and some boxers show up with COVID, you know, prior to fights. Didn't we have a fight canceled recently with the female? Yeah. Her manager showed up with COVID, and then a couple of fighters have been showing up with it. So you got to be careful.
I think, was it Henry Gabriel's person was supposed to fight?
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't remember a female fight was canceled, and then a couple of weeks ago the main event dude that was about to fight on ESPN. I can't remember the guy's name now. But they wound up putting
What do you think, Eric?
You know, my dad, who was good friends with not good friends, I used to hang out with Roberto Duran. He lives right down the block from Elmer's Hospital. He always speaks on it. You know, they don't speak a lot about the people who have recovered. You know, we hear a lot about the deaths. I was taking the train from Queens through Manhattan to Brooklyn every day, 2 months before everything shut down. I like to think it passed through my system. So those are my thoughts. But I agree with Tommy. We still have to play it safe because we all react to it differently. You know. So, but to bring it back to Roberto Duran, I'm not surprised that he's doing okay, because we don't hear a lot about that. As that many more people recover from it than actually, die from it. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, and Roberto's a fighter. What that?
Yeah. He's a beast. Yep.
It's also
not just any fighter too.
He also could be a party animal at sometimes too, you know. But God bless him. I hope he pulls through okay.
He can do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He wrote a book or two on that.
That's right.
What's next, Nat?
I think we lost him. He went fishing. Nathan, come back.
Can you hear me? Right, the next thing is Joshua against Pulev has been targeted for November.
Well, they're pushing it back again. So, did you want to talk about the outcome of the fight, or just the fact that it's pushed back? Because the outcome,
We can talk about both.
I think the outcome is pretty much predetermined. I mean, Joshua has much more ability than Pulev. I mean, Pulev is big and strong, but he doesn't have the boxing IQ that AJ has. Although if he lands a lucky punch, who knows? He can punch. But I see it going AJ's way.
Okay.
How do
What
you guys
think,
see it?
Eric, then we'll go to Spencer.
I agree with Tommy. You know, I think Pulev's a great puncher. You know, he works the body really well, and he can hurt Joshua. At the same time, he caught a nice cut. He caught a nasty cut in that last fight, and I can see that following him around. You know, I can see Joshua opening that up, and you know, and he will struggle with that. But that being said, I can see Joshua getting a lot of trouble.
How many times have you seen Pulev fight, if you don't mind me asking? Because that's my fault if you haven't watched as many fights.
I've seen him fight about 3 times.
No, I meant Eric, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've seen numerous highlights on him, and I don't have my notes in front of me right now, but I want to say I've seen him fight two times.
Okay, I'll send you some more fights. And what do you think, Spencer?
I think AJ should beat him. Like, AJ's inside game to me is his best weapon. And if he could somehow draw Pulev inside and catch him with some uppercuts, then it should be. I mean, Pulev is a tough customer, but Pulev is up there with the age too. It's that age factor with Pulev. He's around since the Klitschko days. Didn't his first loss was to Klitschko?
Right.
In 2014.
Yeah. Yep.
So, you know, like he's up there in age. So I think Joshua should be able to dispatch at him with no problem.
I mean,
But
I've watched Pulev for the last 6 years, right? I watched 7 or 8 years when he beat what's his name?
Kevin Johnson. No, not Kevin Johnson. Sammy Peter.
Yeah, and he also
Right.
he beat Tony Thompson. 2013. So for me, if you had the Pulev in his prime would give Joshua help. But he wouldn't beat it.
Question. I agree, Nathan.
Because if you look,
I should have mentioned that before.
Sorry,
I'm sorry.
Pulev has that.
I should have mentioned that before. I would say, I mean, he was born in 81. So in his prime, 5-6 years ago, no question, he'd give Joshua problems.
He wouldn't have beaten Joshua, but he would have
taken
him to the later round. But I think Pulev.
Now, I will say this. I'm going to just throw this out there with this. All right. Joshua's last time he had this long of a layoff, he lost, right? Ruiz. He had this long of a layoff. Pulev, being older, could benefit from this long of a layoff. So you gotta, you know, like, just throwing that out there. I still think AJ wins, but
yeah. But this is not a foregone conclusion. This fight
could
be more difficult than
It's not a foregone conclusion. There's some variables in there that might play different.
Pulev has a better jab than Joshua. If Joshua fights on the inside, he might get tagged, you know, so he's going to have to keep on the outside for about 6 or 7 years. Then after that, he can then take over and then knock him out.
He might have the jab that AJ has fought. Well, the longest one, anyway.
You know,
like the other people that have decent jabs, like Parker, he was shorter than AJ. Ruiz.
But Pulev is like the second best jabber in boxing. After
and he's about AJ's height. He about as tall as AJ. So
I think he has the problem. He has the stylistically. He has the style to frustrate Joshua. Rounds with that jab.
Well,
the little I've seen, guys, I thought he did a good job of working the body too. I mean, what do you guys think?
You know,
Joshua.
I'm talking about Pulev. I'm sorry.
It's a matter of, you know, your arsenal, like your fluidity of your combinations and your angles. Now, the variable we didn't mention is that AJ has hurt his knee, which will make him less mobile.
Wow.
You know, which will cause him to fight if he has to. So he's going to have to be the better boxer with the faster hands to time this guy so that he can, you know, counterpunch him better. But he's, you know, whether or not he's going to be able to pivot off that leg is going to be something we don't know yet. because he's wearing a brace.
That's interesting, Tom.
Hey,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's definitely. Yeah, see, that's another variable.
Yeah, they're variables.
Yeah.
Are you talking, Nathan? Because you sound muffled.
You know what? I might bet on Pulev just so I could get some money. Crazy.
Yeah, man, go for it.
Full of a 30% chance.
Put like a $30 and win 300 or something.
Yeah, you never know.
What's next, Nat?
Nathan's talking, but we can't hear him. Nathan, you got to get closer to your microphone.
Can you hear me?
Now I
Yeah.
can hear you.
I think Pulev.
Yep.
Is going to be a nightmare for Joshua.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. We'll talk about it when it comes up.
Okay, let me see what's next. Tom Mendola takes a bribe from the WBC. No. Right. Matchroom fight camp. There's four bills that are going to happen in August in the headquarters of Matchroom, and they're going to have the fight camp behind closed doors. What do you guys think of this? Who wants to go first?
I think
Go
it's
ahead,
great.
guys.
I think it's great. I think, you know, he needs to have people out there fighting and people that he needs to promote. I don't see anything wrong with it at all. I mean, we're doing it here with Top Rank. They're following Top Rank. So why not? It's better boxing. You know, they need to work. Boxers need to fight and make money, and we need to keep the sport alive. So if he's going to do it, you know, we're in that place that he's having it done, why not? Good for everybody. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's cool. I'm a fight fan, so it don't matter what fight is on. I'm gonna watch it, but
Right.
I'm not expecting the fights to be, you know, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather level fights or AJ Fury fights on the comeback fights anyway. I wasn't expecting that. And see how I was expecting them to see, you know, kind of do the trial and error, see how it's going to work and do it from there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
What do you think, Eric?
Can I hear the question? I mean, can I hear what you just said? Because you muffled when.
Yeah.
I didn't
What
get
do you think of this Matchroom fight card is going to be in the back of the Matchroom headquarters in the garden behind closed doors? What do you think?
Again, you broke up a little, Nate. I couldn't certain words.
Can you explain it to him? Because
Yo, he's saying, what do you think of the fight camp, the Eddie Hearn Matchroom fight camp? That's basically what he asking you. What do you think of it?
And I mean, is it the same kind of like a 24/7 type deal?
That, you know how the UFC is doing the Fight Island? I don't know if you follow UFC, but
Yeah, I know that.
it's supposed to be something like that where it's they like designate into one area and they're going to have fights 4 weeks in a row. It's a lot of British level talent facing off against each other, but Povetkin and Dylan White is going to be one of those fights during the fight camp that's going to happen. We got a lot of British level guys fighting like Eggington and Cheeseman and these guys. Kuzman.
Okay. The ultimate fighter kind of thing, that type of deal.
No. It's just what it is we have an English promoter, Eddie Hearn, and he's going to put on fights. I guess it's on his estate. He's got a ring set up, and he's going to do like what Top Rank is doing. There'll be people there, but very few to watch it, and he's going to broadcast it to DAZN, and I forget who the other. What is it? Sky Sports.
Yes, Sky.
Yeah, and they're going to put on boxing matches, just like Top Rank is doing right now. So it's just boxing. It's nothing super special. It's just guys boxing, like Friday night fights or something.
I was just about to say, it'll be like the fights they would have on Friday night fights.
There you go.
Sure. Yeah, those are great.
Yeah, you know, like, I'm not sure if you know about the Showbox, the New Generation, and all of those level fights. It'll be like those level fights, the HBO After Dark fights when they used to come on. Not the
Sure. I got it.
Yeah, up and coming talent, that kind of stuff.
You know, guys,
Sure.
and you might have
got
a
you.
fight that has an up and coming prospect against a has been that might, that'll be an interesting matchup or something like that. Because outside of the Dylan White Povetkin fight, they got Sergey Kuzmin versus Martin Bacoli. That one is going to be fire in that week. I just looked at the schedule. That's the final week. That one is going to be really good. That fight camp. I mean, as far as those 4 fights, that particular one is going to be the best one.
Sounds good to me.
It works.
They're about the same level. So to see them fighting each other is to see it's like a even fight with a lot of these fights.
Yeah, they should be wars.
And one thing I will give him on this, like I just said, these are more even fights than say the ones that Top Rank is putting on, because Top Rank putting on a bunch of showcase fights. At least with these fights, you don't know, like Eggington or Cheeseman, who might win. Like that one is a toss-up. I would personally pick Eggington, but who knows?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Didn't they fight before?
I watched some of those. That card that you sent, I watched some of those. I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, Eggman, Cheeseman, and Felix Cash and Wellburn, that whole deal.
Yeah, like those guys, right? Those dudes.
I'm a Felix Cash fan, to be honest, guys. I liked him a lot. I watched a couple of his fights, and so now I'm on the same. I mean, you guys see him having a future? I thought he looked pretty good.
Felix Cash.
Yeah.
Oh, where did you fight at again?
He's a British fighter, but I can't remember. Let me know what his weight is.
I thought he did everything well, man.
Now, I mean, like I said, depending on who's up ahead of him, like who's on the ladder up ahead of him, that could tell you how much success he might have. I mean, if he keeps doing it, like what weight class is he at again?
He is in middleweight. He's actually pretty. His fight against Jason Welborn, he's pretty decent.
Yeah, so
I like
middleweight, he could have him some decent scraps there. I mean, he ain't gonna get Canelo or nobody like that yet, but he could definitely get these guys that
like John Ryder's level.
I was gonna say these dudes. What's this? Selecki, guys like that level, maybe.
Yeah, they're right underneath the elite fighters.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's a big gap between British level, European, and that level of Selecki. Massive gap.
No, yeah, of course, but he got to get. That would be right. That would be probably the goal, to try to fight that guy before trying to fight Canelo. You know what I mean?
Another fight I like is Ted Cheeseman against Eggington, even though Eggington's not good. It's like that.
Didn't they fight before?
Sorry?
Didn't they fight before?
No, they've never fought.
I could have sworn, because I could have sworn they fought, because I could have said eggs.
No, never.
Because I remember eggs and cheese.
It was Liam Smith.
Were they supposed
that Liam Smith fought Sam Eggington.
Were they supposed to fight?
Yeah, I saw. No, they fought. Smith beat him.
Smith beat Eggington.
Yeah, in about 3 rounds.
Yeah. Eggman takes some shots. I watched him fight a couple of times, and he's hit or miss, I think. Certain nights he looks great. I heard, some of the commentators say some good things, but I think he's young, in his mid-20s. I think he eats a lot of shots.
24. He's lost 9 fights, and he fights like 32.
Yeah.
Because he's defense. He walks forward and he gets punched in the head. He's an idiot.
All right. Exactly.
He did, like you say, he just eats shots for fun.
He eats shots exactly. That's why I was going with Cheeseman, because I think Cheeseman's a little more elusive. He doesn't walk forward and eat shots like Eggman does.
I mean, Cheeseman's already lost 2 fights, right? But they're very close. They're good fighters. The problem is, if you can't beat Sam Eggington, then you're not going anywhere. Be that fight, I think you're going to. Ed Cheeseman.
Is Fitzgerald gonna fight on one of these cards?
I don't believe so. Fitzgerald What I remember. Well, we've got 8 minutes left. Is
What
there
do you want
anything
to
else
do?
you want to bring? Let's see what
Uh,
the
With the topics,
next
y'all
topic.
talked about the Saturday fight.
You bring
Oh,
that up, yeah.
You mean Burchelt? You mean Burchelt?
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw it. I saw the highlights, and I expected Burchelt to win. I mean, he really put a lot of combinations to the body and left hook upstairs to the head, and was just overwhelming that guy.
but you don't think that? Well, I was saying, in my opinion, Burchelt gets hit way too much to be trying to like. He gets hit a lot. That dude that he was in the ring with was like in the first few rounds, he was able to put his hands on Burchelt quite often. Burchelt came around and was hitting him, and I kept saying he kept hitting him in that body. I thought he was going to end him with the liver shot, actually, because he kept going for that area. But the ref stopped it on a different type of combination.
What
But,
what I noticed with Burchelt's style is that if he feels you can't hurt him, he'll just keep throwing and whatever. But if he feels you're not going to hurt him, he's just going to keep his output up. His offense is his defense.
Yeah, no, I got that. They say that often enough. They say that the fact that he lands about 31, 32 punches around. I was saying earlier, a good, interesting fight to me would be him versus Leo Santa Cruz, because Leo throws like 100, 110 punches around, and it'll be a high volume punch fight.
And Leo can hurt you too. I know, Burchelt for his weight is big. He could probably go up to what's after super featherweight, junior lightweight? I mean lightweight, right?
Yeah, 135.
Yeah, super and junior, I always get those confused, but I think he could move up, and I think he's strong for this weight. He's very strong.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what happens is that when he goes in there and he feels a guy doesn't have power, he just doesn't care as much to be as defense oriented.
Yeah, I mean, I got that, but he can't continue to think that type of style is going to work against these other guys that he might like. He can't do that against Lomachenko.
Well, no, I mean, no, he can't.
He can't really do that. I don't know if he'll be able to get away with doing that against Leo. He might be able to do it against JoJo. And Herring is another story. Herring had just got the corona, I think it was, so he's coming back. His fight had to be postponed, so he's coming back. I'll see how he looks when he comes back. Herring moves a little bit more than a lot of the guys that Burchelt was fighting. Like Burchelt was able to stand in front of them and land those 31 punches because they was right there in front of him to land them. I like to see him face somebody that's a little bit more mobile to see if he'll still be as effective.
Well, didn't he beat, who was it he beat? Was it Estrada he beat?
I thought it was for the title, you mean?
Yeah, who did he take the title from? I forgot.
It wasn't Vargas, was it? Was it Vargas or Moore?
I think it was Vargas, yeah. And before that he fought Roman. And in both cases, yeah, Francisco Vargas, he won that back in 2017. He stopped them. And then they had a rematch again in 2019. And, he beat him again. But he's got 33 knockouts out of his 37 wins, and he's undefeated. So what he's going for when he goes in there. That's the thing. And will he be able to deal with Lomachenko? I think he could last with Lomachenko. I think he could survive. He may not win a decision, but he's going to try as best as he can to put a lot of hurt on you. And whether, he does take shots, I agree with you. He's going to need to be in there with somebody like Lomachenko, with that kind of movement and mobility and boxing skill, but also somebody who could keep him off with a good, respectable punch, because he's going to swarm you.
Yeah, I agree. Like he's not, if he does move up, those will definitely be some interesting tests for him.
Yeah.
In Devin Haney, Tank Davis,
Mhm.
Tio Lopez field, those fights would be some interesting matchups for him. But
Yeah.
even still, I think Lomachenko is going to be, because Lomachenko's supposed to be coming down after he unifies. I mean,
You were thinking of the other featherweight champion. What's his name? You were just mentioning his name. Santa Cruz.
yeah, Leo's moving up. He's supposed to be fighting Tank at 130. So that could possibly try to be set up. I doubt it. You know, the whole different companies and all this other stuff are with Golden Boy, I think, or Top Rank.
Breaking news,
Right.
guys. Manuel Chai will be fighting in August.
Okay. Well, I can't wait.
No, that's a joke. That's a joke.
Eric, what do you think of Burchelt?
I think Loma, I mean, from a talent standpoint, I think Loma is extremely elite. But at the same time, I think, Loma would be the ultimate test to his style, because Burchelt stands in front of you and throws punches and bunches. Am I wrong? I watched his highlights.
You're right. He's
strong.
He throws a lot of punches.
A lot of punches, and if Loma he does not stand there. He is angle after angle after switching, from orthodox to southpaw, and he's the ultimate when it comes to that. So I think that those punches and bunches guys that sit on their punches, I see a lot of those guys in certain gyms. Loma, I mean, I like Loma's style. I see Loma style testing him. Aside from his talent, because Loma's an elite talent, that style of just angle upon angle, angle after angle, switching from southpaw to, is that'll be the test, because he's a punches and bunches, sit down on his punches and throws punches.
Sorry to cut you off. We've run out of time. We've only got 40 seconds left. So thank you, gentlemen, for coming on, and we'll be on again in 10 days or something, about 8 or 9 days.
All right, man. Make sure y'all wear masks.
Stay safe, guys.
Peace.
Stay safe, gentlemen.
Thank you, people. Take care.